Attendance this morning, as well as those who may be online. I would like to call the meeting to order for the Board of Public Works and Safety, the October 13th, 2022 meeting. A roll call, please. Mr.
Margaret.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Ms. Linda. Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements to the board?
No, sir.
No. Approval of minutes of the meetings of September 29th, 2022, October 6th, 2022, and October 13th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5, bid opening. Demolition bids for properties located at 4407 Baltimore Avenue. Rebid 940 Field Street, front and rear. 4750 Hickory Street, front only. 1524 Michigan Street, garage. 6720 Ontario Avenue, garage. 4751 Oak Avenue, and 4315 Toll Avenue. Make sure we only got two. Okay. First bid is from JM Industrial Services, Hammond, Indiana. Yeah, I don't see all that stuff in this package.
Okay.
I'll just make sure though. Oh, yes, we do. Just make sure. Okay. JM Industrial Services bid total for all the properties is $55,980. $55,980.
Take that for you.
JM Industrial Services. Next bid is from Acton Incorporated, East Chicago, Indiana. Okay. Acton's bid price for all properties is $80,924. $80,924. Mr. Smith, where would these go to? Do they go to?
Request that they be sent to inspections for Mr. Kearney or Mr. Farrell in his absence to review on an individual basis or as an aggregate, and to issue a letter of recommendation next Thursday. So Linda, if you could please make sure that Kiki has that letter of recommendation for us and that it be placed on the agenda for next Thursday. We'd like to award those and get those moving before it gets too chilly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I will make a motion then to forward them to Mr. Kearney for his review and recommendation on a per property basis.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Okay. Item 7, correspondence. A, correspondence received from Dean Button, Capital Improvements Board, requesting $70,550 of CIB funding to be allocated for the roadway repairs to Holman Avenue at Webb Street, submitted for approval. Mr. Gordon.
Yes, this is a repair of the concrete. There's some heaving in that particular area, and we need to make it safe, basically, for the winter. But this is a permanent fix. So they're going to cut a piece of concrete out, replace it. It's pretty substantial work. It's about 10 inches thick. And a letter to the board will be coming next week for a lane restriction in that particular area. So I would recommend approval.
Okay, and for the record, it's been signed off on by the city controller, the mayor, as well as Mr. Button.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to approve Mr. Button's request.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item B, correspondence received from Dean Button, Capital Improvements Board, requesting $16,412.44 of CIB funding to be allocated for the invoice number 3 for the downtown Hammond Station, Russell Street pedestrian tunnel submitted for approval.
So at the end of Russell Street to the east, there will be a tunnel for pedestrians to get back and forth. Russell Street's going to be a cul-de-sac. So that way they can make it to the train station. And this is, let's call it a betterment price that they're requesting, or we are on the hook for. So I would recommend approval.
And again, for the record, it's been signed off on the funding by the controller, the mayor, as well as Dean Button, who's in charge of the CIP board.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to approve Mr. Button's request.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item C, correspondence received from Dean Button. Capital Improvements Board requesting $14,425.80 of CIB funding to be allocated for the 165th Street resurfacing from Columbia to Summer, sewer grouting with corresponding change order number 1 submitted for approval.
Basically, all this is the sewer department noticed some infiltration on the manhole structures during the construction project, and we wanted to take care of those. We rebuilt some of the cones, the top part of the sewer structures. So this is just maintenance, and we wanted to get it done all at once. So I would recommend approval.
And again, for the record, it's been signed off on by the controller, the mayor, as well as Mr. Button.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will then make a motion to approve Mr. Button's request.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item D, correspondence received from Item D, correspondence received from Chief of Police William Short, requesting the approval to place an officer on paid administrative leave as of Friday, October 14th, 2022, pending an investigation.
Make a motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item E, correspondence received from the Lockmuller Group requesting to have a stop sign control intersection on Kennedy Avenue northbound at Martha Street, northbound at 167th Street, and northbound at Vine Street for the 2022 through 23 winter months, and the post-construction permanent four-way stop signs at both 167th Street and, I'm guessing that's Vine Street? Mr. Gordish.
Yes, this is at the raised intersections, which is a glorified speed table. So it would be difficult to hit at a particular speed of 35 miles an hour, which it is posted for. So an idea from this project is to slow traffic down for the businesses. So we did some test runs out there. Dave from Lockmuller's here. He's the project engineer. And he went it over at 35 miles an hour, and it was very not safe. So we are going to slow traffic down. And that was the intent of the project to begin with, to slow traffic down. And these stop signs just need to be approved through the Board of Works. Dean is aware of this, and he concurs.
Did the original project contemplate stop signs?
Yes.
Just an addition. The original project contemplated a stop sign on Kennedy through the improvements?
Through the improvements, it was,
Or did it just contemplate a table?
it was a table and also a speed bar, a stop bar.
Stop bar without a stop sign?
It was supposed to be, but it was left off the plans.
Okay, so this is just adding a sign to where, I'm talking about the permanent sign.
Yes.
Temporary signs, I understand, through the winter months. But the permanent sign, that's part of the plans, it just wasn't, it was intended to be part of the plans?
Yes.
It wasn't included in part of the
Yes.
plans. So the stop sign at Kennedy and Vine was always part of the original plan for the improvement.
That was the intent, yes.
Because this is something that's going
Okay, and 167th Street as well?
Yes, because they're all three raised intersections, of approximately 8 inches, Dave?
Well, they probably wouldn't want a permanent these until the construction's done.
I mean, was the stop sign part of the original plan?
The stop sign was left off the plans. The stop bar.
Intentionally, or it was just unintentionally? Okay.
Right.
So in other words, the stop sign was always intended, but it just was left off the plan. So this is a request to just get it approved as part of the plan.
Correct. And
Again,
that way,
We're talking stop signs, we're talking the permanent ones, post-construction, is that what we're talking about here?
yes, and during construction.
Well, you want the temporary ones through the winter months, correct? Correct?
And also-
On the 4 intersections, but only 2 post-construction.
It would be for post-construction also, after it's opened up to traffic. We're going to have this open to traffic, hopefully.
Yes.
We're going to switch traffic around
Right.
Friday, tomorrow, and that traffic is going to be
1,
northbound,
2, 3.
southbound's going to be closed up until NIPSCO's done. Then our intent is to have two-way traffic north and south.
I'm just looking at the agenda, so maybe it's a little misleading for me. That we're talking 3 stop signs in the wintertime and only 2 post-construction, is that right?
Yeah, that's because
Is that correct? Yes, please. That's how I'm reading it. Maybe I'm,
No, you're
Oh.
reading it correctly. The light at Martha Street
Yes.
has had to be taken down to install the foundation of the new light, which is not up and active. It'll be active once construction's totally done next year. So we need a stop sign at Martha because the light is down northbound right now.
for now, okay. Do the post-construction signs, they're going to, they were supposed to be part of the plan, but they were left off the plans. Is that how I understand it?
Correct. There'll
So it
be
was always gonna be
temporary
part of it.
signs. There'll be temporary signs this winter
Right.
until all the permanent ones get installed next year.
Okay. Does that make
But
sense?
And the permanent ones are only at the 2 locations identified on the agenda, correct? Which is,
Vine and 167.
but there's an additional one.
At Martha, because the
That'll be
light
the
is
signal.
inactive right now.
That'll be the signal, right?
Northbound.
Okay, so what I want to make sure, when will construction be concluded when these will become permanent?
We haven't got a new schedule from the contractor. I can guess it's July or August of next year. We're about 50% done.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's 2 temporary signs that are going to just basically become permanent. So those are the ones I would like Linda to add on to the ordinance, for the cleanup ordinance at the end of the year. And that'll be at Vine and 167. Those are the
Correct.
permanent ones, right?
Okay. All right, understood. I understand now, Jeff.
Yep, I do
Just
too.
to clarify too, southbound will not have stop signs. Those raised intersections are not in yet, so it's gonna, I guess, continue how it is right now today.
Okay,
It's only for northbound where those intersections have been constructed.
okay. All right, I understand.
Okay, but we're okaying permanent and temporary today, right? All of them?
Yeah, as long as, I didn't know about the north and southbound being different. Is PD comfortable with that, with the stop sign going one way and not the other?
I mean, we'll have to be, obviously, if it's a concern with going 35 miles an hour going over that speed bump or
What
whatever.
I mean is that the one, if I'm stopping one way and there's not a stop sign the other
Oh.
way, does that cause any traffic issues with like turning or?
It shouldn't
I mean,
cause any
it could.
traffic issues because they're going to be isolated lanes with barrels down them.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
there's not
So
going
there
to be
won't
any,
be any
They-
turn.
There will be no
can't
turn.
turning. There'll be no turnings at the intersection, yeah.
Okay,
That makes sense.
and if a problem did come up, we could always address this again later on.
absolutely.
Okay,
Okay,
all right. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Transmorgified project here.
telling me.
Yes.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve Lockmuir Group's request.
I will second.
And I'll concur. I mean, I'll I agree as well. Item F, correspondence received from Hammond Hermits requesting to block the intersections of 141st Street and Dearborn Avenue and 142nd Street in Dearborn with EMA vehicles on Saturday, October 22nd, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for their annual trunk or treat. Mr. Kalina.
The board, yes, that's an annual event. We are aware of it, and we'll be taking care of it as usual.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good.
Thank you, and of course, request approval.
Thank you much.
I will make a motion to approve Hammond Hermits request.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item G, correspondence received from Mike Van Camp requesting no parking at 231 Condit, east to Lyman, on both sides of the street for Friday, October 28, 2022, from 6 a.m. until 4 p.m. due to large fabrication shipments, and a semi-trailer will need clearance to maneuver into the facility. Vans will offer their parking lot for any displaced neighbors at this time. Normal traffic will have access. Sir?
It's, as it's written, we're not stopping any traffic, it's just to maneuver the truck in, we're not setting any cranes in the street or anything like that, just looking for no parking on that day.
Will there be any notification to your neighbors that are in that proximity there?
Yeah,
What
we
you
can
guys
put
are
notes
doing
on
that?
doors
They
as
so they
early as
know
today, once this is approved, if it is, so,
They
yep.
can use your lot, at least to get
Yep.
off the street.
You're gonna provide the no parking signs? How-
If the city could provide the no parking signs, I'd appreciate that. I could put the notices on the neighbors' doors.
So forward it to
Do we have?
Public Works?
We got temporary no parking signs? They probably got them, right? Okay, okay. Okay,
So who should I send it to, you? Okay.
okay, okay.
Oh,
CMS have anything to do with that or no?
no.
Donnie's here.
You don't have any no parking signs, do you, Donnie? No, sir. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay.
Okay, so, Public Works?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to approve Mr. Van Camp's request and also forward it to Public Works for the no parking signs.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Real quick, on that, do they need, is that an oversized load coming in there?
It will be, but they're gonna be, the trucking company's gonna handle the permits for that.
Okay, no, but I mean, which way they're coming in, we'll pick them up to get them in there too.
They're only gonna need the one-way, it's a one-way street.
Yeah, no, but I mean, how are they coming down, home off the expressway, I take it, or?
I don't know where they're coming from
Okay.
yet to pick up the load.
All right, I'll get with you.
Yeah, it's an empty trailer right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha, all right, sorry. Thank you.
No, thank you. Item H, correspondence received requesting a rental registration hearing.
I'll make a motion to set that hearing for November 4th, 2022.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Matters from board members?
None.
None.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. New business, item A, resolution authorizing the city of Hammond to enter into a lease agreement for the purchase of required fire trucks submitted for approval. Mr. Smith?
Yes, Mr. Margraf, you are keenly aware of what happened to Engine 7 as a result of that crash on the highway that protected probably at least, well, definitely the firemen that had to jump back into the firefighters that had to jump back into the rig, as well as the police officers that were protected by the rig when a car crashed into it at about, I don't know, a lot, very high rate of speed. The result of that, however, was the loss of the rig. It was totaled. That creates a pretty significant public safety issue within the city, because I know that although the city does have, the fire department does have a replacement rig, if that would go down, there's none after that. So this engine was identified at Fire Services. I believe Megan was in front of you back in August. We talked about the fact that this was kind of like a, for lack of a better term, a floor model that they had available, and we had to act quickly. Since that time, the Controller's Office has applied to the Indiana Bond Bank. The Indiana Bond Bank has identified Crossroads Bank. Mr. Grossman's here today, I believe he's here, yes, right here, from the bank. They presented the board with documentation regarding the resolution that you'll see next regarding the lease. The master equipment lease purchase agreement is also next on the agenda. This is something that the controller, Ms. Flores, has approved and would request the approval of the board. I did prepare the resolution they have before you to indicate that there was an emergency that existed due to public safety as a result of the loss of the fire engine. So I'd request its approval, and then also I would request the approval of the master equipment lease resolution that is next on the agenda. And I don't know if you have any questions for Mr. Grossman, but he's here to answer those.
My only question would be, Mr. Smith, as to the payments for this. They coming through the fire department?
They're actually coming through this seated budget line item, is what I've heard from the Controller's Office. I don't know if anyone in the Controller's Office is here today. I don't see anybody, so. Yeah, I asked the Controller, and I think both Ms. Flores and Ms. Cooper both indicated, and I think actually Ms. Greenwell indicated that it is covered through a budget line item.
Okay. Anything, Jeff?
No, but are we approving A and B at the same time then? or
Up to you. Yeah, I mean,
individually?
you could do each in succession is fine. Actually,
Okay.
probably if you could do them each
One at a
separately.
time?
Yep, please.
Okay.
Okay, then for letter A, I will make a motion to approve the lease agreement.
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And then for letter B, I will make a motion to approve the master equipment lease agreement.
Second that.
All those in favor of item B?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, can I just, real quick, see item B? I just want to make sure.
Sure. And thank you for being here, Mr. Grossman.
You're welcome. Thank you. We just want to make, because it has to be done by the end of the month, so we just want to make sure we've got all the
Okay.
documents.
Right. Ever.
And while he's reviewing it, we could
Oh,
keep
okay.
going, because we can always come back to it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Item C, settlement agreement, property transfer and release agreement for property located at 6208 Kennedy Avenue, submitted for approval.
Yes, this is actually before the Alcohol Tobacco Commission this morning, so I signed it yesterday. This is a purchase and settlement agreement for a property located on Kennedy Avenue. It has a liquor license involved in it as well. I would request the ratification of it as I signed it yesterday.
Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the settlement agreement, property transfer, and release agreement.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item D, order to rescind and release order to demolish for property located at 820 Bauer Street.
Yes, and this is good to go, so.
Okay.
Signed after the meeting.
Yes, sir.
820 Bauer, the board is familiar with Mr. McKinley. He's been in several times. I'm happy to report that not only has he acquired the property in tax sale, it's in rehab, and he seems like a very competent operator. So we're happy to see that this can come off the demolition list and request its approval.
Awesome.
Make a motion then to approve the order to rescind and release order for 820 Bauer.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right-of-way permits received from engineering submitted for approval.
Well, there's two. One's a small one, Comcast is putting a line in approximately 167th and Columbia. Water Department approved it, so we shouldn't have a problem. It should go rather quickly, that one. And the next one would be for Bulletin Court between Willow Street and State Street. They're going to be driving
Bulletin.
Bulletin.
Not many people know that one.
No. So basically, they're going to be driving piles for their bridge and putting the piers up. So I would recommend approval. In the future, they are going to realign Bolton. That was in the plans. So that will be in the future. But they want to get the piles up for their bridge structure.
Just a little stretch, man.
So I would recommend approval.
Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the right-of-way permits.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
There was a barn there, like the wagon wheel or something, right around the corner. Yeah. Item 10, old business. A, status, 7508 Birch Avenue. And we have Mr. Driscoll here online as well.
We do. You may recall that this was up, or we thought it was up last week, but it wasn't. So we reset it for this week just to kind of readdress the issues here. My status from Mr. Luter last week indicates that there haven't been any building permits applied for or issued, and that the contractor that Mr. Driscoll's client, Trinity Construction, is using is not licensed with the city. So we just want to make sure that that's remedied right away. So I'll leave that up to Mr. Driscoll to address the board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The update I have given, I indicated it was Trinity Construction. Apparently, it was my confusion. It's Trinity Group. It's actually, maybe the same entity. It's actually new creation. And I have my client, Mr. Sam Hoppy, is here as well. So he will actually provide the specifics of what's going on with the rehab. Hi, everyone.
Morning.
So, unfortunately, I've given it to my property management group. We do a number of rehabs around the city. I feel like we have a pretty good track record, but for some reason, whether it's an oversight or whatever, permit wasn't
Mr. Hothey, this is Kevin Smith, Corporation Counsel for the city. Do you have permits? Because we don't show, at least as of October 13th, we didn't show any permits pulled.
Yeah, I think I don't know what happened. It's a little frustrating for me because they normally do it, so I know their license. I think it was an oversight on them. I think they did it properly. So I don't know if it needs to be re-inspected. I'm just trying to figure out what to do. The things I have done, proactively is, essentially I'm taking out my property manager from these rehabs, and I'm getting more involved myself, so we can get them done properly, and this stuff doesn't happen again.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Communication was off.
So thank you for that. I guess what would need to be done is that permits have to be pulled because you can't have an inspection without a permit being pulled. So if you could please have either you or your licensed contractor pull those permits, that will at least get everything moving in the right direction. And then if you believe the...
They were supposed to retroactively do it, but I don't know if they said that they weren't able. Is there a reason they wouldn't have been able to?
Probably because it's on the demo list and under a rehab, but you can't see this because your view is the board. But Mr. Farrell is here from inspections, and he's making notes and will email his staff that permits can get pulled on that so that we can issue those. And then I would appreciate it if your contractor or you would then call for inspection right away so we could kind of see where this is and get on top of it, and then hopefully kind of move forward in a good direction. So if we set this over for, let's say, 3 weeks, that should be enough time for you to get those permits pulled and request inspections, and then hopefully have those inspections done and we can report back to the board. Does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds good.
Okay, so board, if we could have 3 weeks for status on this?
November 10th?
All right.
Is that good?
November 10th? Is that good for you, Mr.?
Good for you, Mr. Hothey?
Can I check real quick?
Sure.
While he's checking, the board and Attorney Smith, I'll expound a little bit on what Mr. Hoppy said, is that his management company's property costs, and he's essentially, been hands-off. He's got a lot of different things going on with various rehabs and running his business. But he has learned that probably being hands-off is probably not the best way to go with some of these rehabs, especially one like this under a rehab agreement. So moving forward, not just on this rehab, but with any other, he's gonna work directly with the contractor. So we're not in this position again, hopefully.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And we've, not just, I'm not picking on one property management company, but we've seen it many times before here where the property management company is at fault, but ultimately the city looks to the owner for responsibility, and it's the owner that's going to be the one on the hook when they get cited, not the property management company. But of course, I assume that the owner will take it out with the property management company. But I'm glad to see that Mr. Hothey's getting involved in this as the owner. I know the city appreciates that, because otherwise we're dealing with a middleman like the property management company, and then they just point the finger at the owner, and we point the finger, and so it's kind of like this circular argument that we try to avoid. So I'm glad that we're moving in the right direction. We'll set it over, or if the board's okay with setting it over for November 10th, if that's okay with Mr. Hothey's calendar. You can, of course, attend by Zoom again if that's easier for you. And we would expect that the permits be pulled and that there be inspections by that date.
That works for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Jamie, if you could maybe respond to that email from Mr. Luter, just to give him a summary. He's not here today. That October 13th email, that'll at least kind of put everything on his plate as well, so he's aware.
Yes, I'll do it right now.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then I will make a motion then to set this matter over for status to November 10th, 2022.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. Item B, status, New Zion Temple Church requesting to block off Tapper from Merrill to Morris on October 31st, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to hold an outside movie in the yard for the neighborhood.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
The reason we requested someone to be here today was we just had some concerns about being in the street. It's dark, and, if you see the news, things happen, and so that was our concern. to find out from you folks exactly what it is that you want to do.
So it's also going to be a trunk or treat. The movie will actually be in our parking lot over on the grass side. So we wanted to do a trunk or treat and a movie for the community. We just want to give back to the community. Of course, the trunk or treat starts at 5 while it's still light outside.
Okay.
We do have our own security, so we will have security out there with us, and we're giving away free food, we're giving away candy, of course, and it's just going to be a huge event that we just want to do for the community.
What exactly will be in the street?
Cars.
So they're going
The
to...
trunk or treat will
Okay.
be on
Okay.
in the street, and then the movie will actually be in the yard of the church.
And you're going to have your own people there? kind of
Yes, we're
just
going to have
making sure
security. Our
both
church
ends?
has security, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think another concern was it's trick or treat, obviously, that night.
Right.
Parents tend to want to follow their kids.
Right.
Sometimes in vehicles. They'll be unable to get past there, so that was an issue that we were thinking of also.
Well, I mean, even in that, they can still stop by and trick or treat with us too. I don't know if, I don't want to say it's a huge problem, but there's still parking in the area, and like I said, it won't be the entire time. We just want it until 5, until the movie starts. And then we will remove the blocking so people can get through.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe 5 to 6 then?
Yeah, 5 to like 6:30. Once it starts getting dark, because we won't be able to see the movie screen until it is dark, we're going to move the blocking so people can get through.
Okay.
And we'll have lights out, it'll be very safe for the community
No, I
as
mean, we
well.
just wanted to hear it from you.
Oh, no, I
just
understand.
wanted to hear it from you.
I
Can
understand.
we modify the time then to 6, do you think you'll have it all cleared, the street cleared by 6:30-ish?
I'll say 6:30, yes. What time is trick or treating actually over?
5 to 7,
Okay, well, can we do 7 then?
that you would remove it?
Yes.
Trick or treating is the only issue that I really have, so I don't know if that, to me, if it's going to be 7, it might as well be 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what we're concerned about is just that if the street, like if cars back up on the street beyond where you're blocking it, that creates that could create a traffic issue. So you want to block it off completely from Merrill, right? Merrill to Morris.
Tapper
Well, Tapper
to
Street, but
Merrill, yeah.
Merrill to Morris are the cross streets, right?
Yes.
In the middle of trick
So,
or treat, no parents like to follow their kids, so.
Yeah, I mean, is the idea that people would park along Tapper, get out, and then walk the trunk or treat, or is there other parking like at the church where people would park and then?
We
get
have
out?
other parking. We have a parking lot, yeah. And there is parking along the street as well.
Yeah, I think maybe just to alert PD that they're out there. Are you saying you'd want it 5 to 8, like past the time?
No, I'm just saying, trick or treating is 5 to 7. I'm concerned about parents not being able to follow their kids down that street if they're trick or treating, but if it's for the community, they're gonna be in the area anyway, so I assume it's okay. So, can we make it 5 to 7 though? Just
Yes.
I'll make that motion then.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion then to approve a New Zion Temples Church request. However, we're gonna change the times from 5 to 7 PM.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will notify the police department.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for showing up. Item C, status, Yemenez Auto with Brian Polk.
Morning again, folks.
Good morning.
So,
You?
last time we were here, there were a few things to follow up on, one of which was, I think you folks had wanted a confirmation from Brian concerning the discussion we had had about zoning issues for this property. I'm not going to put words in Brian's mouth, but we did have a rather extensive email exchange a while back wherein he basically expressed that he didn't have any issues looking. This is a prior non-conforming use for the new shop, and that would not require any additional applications with BZA or anything like that. So, Brian, do you have anything to add on that point?
I think we wanted to ask Mr. Pullen to show up today.
He's here.
I know he is, because, there were some items that Mr. Bartholomew put forth last week or 2 weeks ago when we were here, and we just wanted confirmation, because we do want to make sure that if they go in here, that it's an appropriate use, and that the landscape plan and anything else that Mr. Pullen requires is in place, and
Yeah, I will confirm what Mr. Bartholomew said, that it is a continuation of a legal nonconforming use and that the site plan meets all the requirements.
Is there a timeline then, Christian, for kind of like how this is going to go forward? Because obviously we've been on this for a while.
Right. I've got my clients here. Last time they expressed they were meeting with their contractor. I understand they've done that once or twice at least, so perhaps if they could give us an update on progress with the contractor.
Okay, so, good morning.
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 We did meet up with the contractor. Previously, we had spoken to him, tried to set up something, but he was on vacation, so it was very difficult. And he just got back in right after we had this
What's the
last
contractor's
meeting.
name?
His name is,
Company.
I've got an email. Oh, there we go.
So it's Live Life in Color, Calumet Painting and Restoration.
Yeah.
As far as this, I don't think that, I mean, to me, I think we've used him before for like other work, but I think he's a painter. I don't think he's do you know if he's licensed as a contractor?
I don't believe he's a general, like commercial general contractor.
He's a painter, I think, custom colors.
Yeah.
Did
what he
his
does.
name come off of that list that I sent? I did send the list of authorized licensed contractors for the city.
Because there's a subset, right, for commercial general.
¿sabes si él tiene licencia para contratista?
Are there,
¿Tienen
there's
licencia?
things that are gonna have to be structurally changed, right, to put the new business in there, correct, or no?
Oh, yeah.
More than paint, right?
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
think
there's
Ricardo
going to have
does
to
that.
be
Ricardo does that.
a fair amount of landscaping and changes to the parking lot, as well as right now, the building is being operated as a car wash. And in order to convert it to a repair shop, there's some proposed changes that were shown on the plan for an expansion of the office. I think one of the bays is getting removed in that process. So there are fairly substantial changes beyond just paint.
Are there plans from what you just described?
We have the exterior site plan that was presented to Mr. Poland. As far as the interior plan for
Right.
the building, the architect that Bruce
Kajawa?
drew up the exterior plans. He's offered to draw up the interior plans as well. I'm not sure if you guys have addressed that.
He just wanted to make sure that we were able to move forward with
No, I
it.
understand that.
Yeah, before he started sketching up the inside and stuff like that.
Because I think, go ahead.
I kind of feel like we're running in the mud here. It doesn't seem like we're making progress. And if the contractor's been on vacation for 2 weeks, I mean, is there something we can do to expedite this a little bit? I feel like we're not going anywhere. We've met with you guys several times, and I feel like we're in the same place every time. So if this person's a licensed contractor, is there anything we can do to expedite getting the plans and figuring out when it's going to be finished? And
Right, we just met with him, he actually told us if we would give him about 2 weeks in order for him to give us a price estimate and get everything situated with everything that we were gonna need,
And that's
an
Mr.
estimate of
Kajawa?
time and getting the job done.
Is that the contractor or Bruce Kajawa?
That's a contractor.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that from law department's perspective and the inspections department's perspective is that, you know, we've really bent over backwards for this business. We've allowed them to operate without a license during the pendency of this kind of discussion that's gone on for a while. I think we need to probably set some benchmarks for this, because if not, I think what the city would want to then proceed to do would simply be start citing them for operating without a license and or try to shut them down if we can, because we can't have them continuing to operate, continuing to be going without a plan at their new place, continuing to go on without a contractor. They now have, I think the upside to today was, we've heard from Mr. Poland that the new property is an appropriate use, which is great. I think it's a big step in the right direction. That should give them the ability to move forward pretty quickly, I would think. Because during this time, I'm assuming they're getting their financing ready. They have, you know, they're making plans. But ultimately, we want them out of Calumet Avenue and 149th place.
Right.
Because there's 2 businesses operating out of there. We've had issues before with parking on the street, cars on the street, cars on Calumet Avenue, it's blocking the neighborhood, cars parking in driveways. So we really need to, like, as Chief Long just mentioned, move this much quicker now that you have the ability to go forward with that property on Calumet. I'm sorry, in Holman.
So she's saying that in 2 weeks, you'll have some kind of plan of action and a date of.
Yes, that's what the contractor said.
Okay.
Like, when do you think you'll be able to pull permits? Maybe that's a better way to set this, so we can like kind of set it out, and if permits aren't pulled by that time, then we should probably take some action.
Okay, so to be safe, should we set it for 3 weeks so that she has more than enough time?
I want to make sure they have enough time to get their plans drawn, you know, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess I'd ask Mr. Bartholomew what he thinks is the best, you know, how to address this issue with timeline.
Did the contractor give you any indication when he would be able to pull permits?
So our folks in inspections are mentioning that they're probably going to need a release from the state because it's a change in use, so that's going to take some time. But that, of course, that clock doesn't start ticking until they get the plans to them.
Right.
So we really need to like set a benchmark, make sure the plans are done, and then make sure they apply to the state. It'd be nice to have Mr. Kajawa maybe in here next time, if that's who your architect is, and have him show up and talk to the board as well. And maybe like a 2 or 3 week status just to see where they are, and then maybe at that meeting we set a timeline for like, this is when the application of the state has to be done, this is when the permits need to be pulled by. So by that date. Because some of it's out of their hands, right? I mean, we don't know how long the state will take to approve.
Right. No, I'm not putting this, I feel like we got to move,
Yep.
something's got to start moving with this, and we've kind of been in the same place for a long time. So is 3 weeks enough time? 2 weeks? What's enough time?
Let's
the
see.
first status.
Where does 3 weeks put us? That puts us in.
November 17th, I think, or 10th? 10th, yeah.
I have a trial on, so I have a trial on the 10th, and I might be out of the country on the 17th.
We want to move it to the 3rd and see if we can have Mr. Kajawa in here on the 3rd then?
December?
November.
November.
That's 2 weeks, yeah.
No, is it the 6th?
Yeah, 2 weeks from the November. Can we do November 3rd just to see if,
I can do that. Is that November 3rd? Is that?
Thanksgiving.
me too.
Porque él dice que el abogado dice que no va a poder estar ni el 10 ni el 17. El 3 sería nuestra única opción, que serían los dos, las marcaciones de dos semanas.
The 3rd?
Yeah, I think we could proceed with the 3rd, and just, we're gonna have to have a talk to the contractor and make sure to see if he's gonna be able to
I'd bring
meet
them
up.
in here. I would bring them both. I'd bring everybody you can in here to
in
talk.
here.
Yeah, please, Mr. Kajawa. I mean, I'll leave that to Christian to decide who needs to be here, but I would, the board would like to see your,
Make sure,
your,
yes, we're
your
moving
folks so that
forward.
we can have them in front of the board
Yes,
and
of
explain what's
course.
going on.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to make a motion then to set this over for status to November 3rd, and hopefully you'll be able to bring your contractor with you so we can get some answers, okay?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
It won't be. Oh, that's right. It's okay, it's okay. I forgot about that, dude, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have done that on purpose, you know that.
What did you do?
I won't be here the 3rd. It'll be.
Rental registration hearings. Mr. Farrell, anything? No. Okay. Meeting's open to the public. Anyone here care to speak? Open to the public? Wait, let me take these off. Mr. Dillon. You want to look through these before I sign?
And salute to Ernie Dillon, 5963 Park Place, Hammond, Indiana, United States Marines. United States Air Force. I'm here on behalf of American Legion, Hammond Victory Post 168, and we have a request for a little assistance. And Mr. Chairman, if I may approach the members of the board, I have my request letters here. May I approach?
Sure.
Of course.
First, I want to thank the City of Hammond for all their support over the past 10 years. Also, Nice Engineering Company, my colleague Chris is here for all their work. On the corner of Lyman and Douglas, we've just completed yesterday the Tribute to Our Troops Memorial, all troops, all wars, all branches. And we're having a Veterans Day dedication ceremony. It's going to be at 10, probably 9 a.m. to 11:30. And during that ceremony, we're asking the Board of Public Works board members if you would approve our request for a few items on the bottom of the letter. And you can see there what they are. And we've notified and spoke with Mr. Kleina earlier and gave him a copy of that also, because he's usually the gentleman that helps follow up on that. So I guess with that, you want to look it over a little bit and ask me any questions?
I think, Ernie, I think our questions are going to be the departments where we're going to get the stuff. We can't get it. I understand, though. This is right there by the bike trail, right? Or what used to be the bike trail? Is it still the bike trail? Is it green?
Yeah, it's the corner of Lyman and Douglas, and Mr. Chairman, and right in Jason in back or next door to the Social Security office.
Yeah.
And the railroad's been very supportive, and they've cleared out that entire corner for us. And so you can see the view of the
Bleachers,
memorial.
what's that, one section? Would one section suffice?
Well, I'm thinking 30 people. I think one we had 10 years ago, we started this, and fast forward to now.
Yeah.
And they brought bleachers, a speaker stand.
Right.
Of course, the mayor spoke, and other various dignitaries and military people. So I think what we have is there maybe some chairs, 20 chairs, maybe the park department. I'm not sure. I thought I'd start here.
Parking on Douglas Street.
Yeah.
I mean, parking on Douglas Street, that's, you can park there anyway, right?
Yes, but for this event, there's a bike path.
Yeah.
Bike path riding lane.
Yeah.
And we would be parking cars there, handicap especially, for that 1 hour or 2 hours. But I didn't know if we needed requests for Douglas. We don't need anything blocked off. And I will say that the federal courthouse, I guess maintenance squad has offered us access to federal courthouse for parking too. Like if we had larger equipment there or something like that for that day, they'll carry to have flags on. We can park there. And we're looking at 9 to noon, 9 to 3 hours setup time, and the Hammond Police Department's doing a 21-gun salute and taps at the end of our program, and that'll be 11 a.m. And then right after that's the dismissal, and we're going to unveil our signs and all the things that we've built. I would encourage you to drive by there today if you get a chance. It's really, really beautiful. The memorial itself is the only one of its kind in the state of Indiana on the bike trail, and it turned out really nice.
I mean, from the board's perspective, we'll do what we can to make this work for you. I mean, I think it's going to take us a few days to find out whether or not we can get this stuff, which I believe we can.
Yeah.
We'd probably have a better status for your request probably next week. Not
Yeah.
that you have to come back, hey, we can relay it to Liz if Liz can get you the
Yeah,
information.
and that's fine. It's just and we've done this before with the small bleachers, people to sit in.
Right.
The chairs, people to sit in, and the podium, we've used the City of Hammond's podium with the speaker, and that's really about it. The rest of it we have, and we'd like to invite you to attend.
Donnie, he's left. I'll just see if EMA would be involved at all doing anything. So, I mean, if that'll work for you today, we'll commit to making it try to happen
Yeah.
for you guys. But we'll have a better answer, I think, certainly next Thursday publicly for you.
We have time, and
Yeah.
that would be fine, Kevin.
Okay.
And we're looking
Absolutely.
for a Marine speaker, if you know any Marines around here. I know Jake. Hey, Jake's a Marine, and,
Back there.
yeah.
He's got stories, man. He's got stories.
Well, we have a short time. It's a 2-minute per
Oh, 2 minutes per person.
Try to keep on a 2-minute time schedule.
Okay.
I've seen the mayor stand next to
So
people
we will
before
certainly
hit
take
him.
this,
Nudge 'em.
acknowledge your letter, and we'll do everything we can to make it happen.
All right, I appreciate the board's time, and thank you so much again for what you do for the veterans in the city of Hammond and their families. Bid you adieu.
Thank you,
Thank you,
brother.
Ernie. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Told you. Yeah, I think we'll get this stuff done.
Yeah.
I know he does. No, he does. He's been doing that for like 5 years. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is John Garcia, 738 Spruce Street. My sister, 734 Annette Dunn, lives next door to us. We're trying to obtain a, what they call a resident parking in our 700 block of Spruce Street due to the heavy traffic from one homeowner that owns anywhere from 9 to 15 cars that he parks on our street in front of our house every single day and night. Multiple times we went to his house to tell him to move the vehicle. He threatened each and one of us, called us racist. We are not racist. As you see, my sister next to me, she is black. I'm Hispanic. The rest of my neighbors are Hispanic, black, and they're, German. We would like to obtain a street sign due to the fact to keep the resident from parking his cars in front of our house. He lives at 727. He's a nuisance to Jordan Pollock, Pete Moore from the Hammond Police Department, and many other complaint departments. The gentleman sitting in the back over here, I did not get his name yesterday. We were here yesterday to get the paperwork, how to go about this matter, how to apply for it. He told us to write a letter out, which I did, with our signatures from our neighbors saying the same thing with the complaint from this person. We like to get this matter taken care of because this person's already threatened all of us, and every single day we have to call the police, Jordan Pollock, to everybody down the line. That's all we ask, please. Resident parking only. Because my kids cannot even park in front of their house so I can get my grandkids. Because this person parks his car there and will not remove it. Every time that we go to his house, he threatens all of us. He's from Illinois.
Got any information, any questions on this?
Pete Moore and everybody down the line has been informed about it, and they're getting tired of hearing us complain because we're calling every day.
27 Spruce.
Yeah.
And Pete Moore's aware of it? You're saying Lieutenant Moore's aware of it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will make it a point to find out what's going on, the resident parking.
Might I add that I have talked to Pete Moore because Pete Moore and I both went to Hammond Tech. I talked to Bill Emerson, and Bill Emerson told me the same thing, come to try to get a resident parking. Pete Moore was threatened by this man because the man called Pete Moore, excuse my language, racist again. We do not want violence to be happening on our street due to the fact that this person will cause it because he came from Chicago.
We do have an active citation out against the property owner
For?
for operating a repair shop without a
Yes.
license, for vehicles on the property, a multitude of violations.
Is he a homeowner or a renter?
He is the current homeowner at 727 Spruce Street.
Yes.
He does have his son and his cousin living with him at that residence.
As far as I'm aware, you can have anything, if you have 5 or more vehicles, registered to your name, you're required to have a state dealer's license. Anything over that, so it's obviously not something that's going to be issued to a residential property. It's a way to prohibit activities such as this. So his claims are he's working on family and friends vehicles, but we have sufficient evidence to support our stance of what's happening.
And we do have witness that will come to testify what the gentleman said about they had work
I
done.
need you to come up to Jake needs you to come up to the, do you know when it's going to court, Nick?
Right now, the property is on a 12-month review. I haven't had anyone
able to provide me with any evidence stating that money is changing hands, that he's working and collecting money for the auto repair business. We have him monitoring weekly, where when I do go and take photos of the property, there are an absurd amount of vehicles parked in the street, but we don't have the technology to run those plates while we're out there. And that's why I've been in conversation with Pete Moore regarding what vehicles are registered to that property and who they
Can
are.
you come closer to the mic? Sorry, Jordan.
Have we red tagged or towed any vehicles from there?
So Pete Moore has tagged a few of the vehicles that are out there. I've been in discussion with him about the matter of how long the vehicles are able to stay in the specific parking spot and what retroactively changes the tag from when it's posted on the vehicle from when it's relocated up the street.
So essentially, we get to gather photo evidence to show not like a single vehicle doesn't remain at that residence for the long term.
Excuse me, if you like pictures, we'd be more than glad to give it to you, because one of the residents that's not here, that lives at 731 next door to him, his vehicle, the person at 727, vehicle's been parked there for over 4 months and has never been moved, the white Buick.
Sir, I can tell you, I'm the assistant police chief.
Yes, sir.
Let me talk to Lieutenant Moore.
Great.
And I will make sure, we're gonna get something going with this, okay?
That'd be great.
On our end, we'll do the best we can.
And we
So-
appreciate you
so I
letting
ask
us
you to
come
give me-
here
yeah,
to-
Give me a couple days and I'll be on it, but Lieutenant Moore doesn't like to get threatened, nor do I, so we'll take care of that for
I
sure.
really appreciate it.
Okay, no
Thank you very
problem. You have my word, okay?
Well, thank you for these gentlemen for helping out.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Would you like this copy from that we wrote out and with the resident's signature?
We'd like to have a copy.
Okay, I got you.
Like to have a copy,
Yeah, like
absolutely.
we get some to the law department, that way they can make it a matter of record, okay?
That would be him.
Okay.
Yes.
My question was, I've always asked, is that, is it, can a person from another state come to Indiana and use their public street as a storage area for a car for people that don't live there?
The answer is no. The answer is no. Even if that person was from Indiana, they can't do that. So they have to have a business license if they're running a license and so on and so forth. So that's why I said, give me a little bit of time to look into this.
Okay.
First, I'm aware of it. I'll stay on top of it.
All right, then, I appreciate your
No
help.
problem, no
You know,
problem.
Like I said, we weren't telling them to move, we just asked them for respect, you know, as neighbors. And like, when they first moved in, I did inform them, I says, all this stuff that you guys are doing, we're not going for that.
No, I understand.
You know, and I says, we respect you. If you're having a party or something, you know, just say something to us, and we have no problem. We know the limit is 72 hours, okay? We already know that, as far as somebody parking in front of your house.
Yeah, they actually get 96 hours.
Oh, okay.
A vehicle has to be moved in the city every 96 hours.
After 4 days, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and then, like I told him, I says, you know, it's like when, on the 4th of July, I have my family over. I went over to the Duke of Orleans, and I talked to the manager, and I said, can my family just park their cars here, and after the party, I said, I'll come and through your parking lot to make sure your parking lot is clean. That's what I'm talking about when I say respect for your
Absolutely,
neighbors.
we understand.
You know, and they said, okay, you know, and it's like, you know, we're trying to deal with them and talk to them, but they'll laugh in our faces, they, oh, it's the public street, ain't nothing you can do about it, you know. And I said, it's just respect,
see.
that's all.
Okay. We'll do what we can, ma'am.
All right, then, we
Absolutely.
appreciate you
Thank you,
taking
sir.
listening
You have a
to
good
us.
day. Thank
You as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you much.
They haven't met Jeff long yet, so.
Anyone else from the public? No.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye. See ya.